So far, we've learned that God is perfect and He loves me. God is so full of love that the Bible tells us He decided to create a world and people on that world with whom He could share His love. And so God did. He created a world and people with whom He could be in a relationship. And everything was perfect. The world was perfect, the people were perfect, the relationship with God was perfect. But as we look at the world around us today, we can see that things, well, they are not perfect anymore, are they? I mean, we have violence or people who hurt each other. We have war. We have famine or people who don't have enough food to eat. We have sickness and disease. We have all kinds of bad things in our world. The world is not perfect. People are not perfect. So the question is, what went wrong? What happened to the perfect people and the perfect world God made? What's the problem? Well, the problem is caused by a little word that has caused all kinds of trouble. The word is sin. Sin is when we choose to do our life our way instead of God's way. I have a few examples that I'm going to show you. Check out these situations and see if any sound familiar.
Maybe you lied and told your mom you didn't have any homework one night because you knew she would make you finish it before you could watch television. Or maybe everybody in your class makes fun of one kid. You feel bad for him, but he's so weird. You can't help making fun of him too. Or what if your dad told you not to ride your bike outside of your block? Would you just wait and do it when he's not home? Let's say you're not allowed to watch PG-13 movies, but your friends pulled one out at a sleepover and you watched it. I mean, how is your mom gonna know anyway? Have you ever gotten into trouble at school and you were supposed to give your mom a note from your teacher about it? Well, maybe you hid it from her.
So what do you think? Any of those sound familiar? I'm sure you and I have never done anything like that, right? Well, maybe not. Right now, I want you to turn to someone you are watching this with, and this is gonna be really hard, but I want you to be honest, grown-ups too, and talk about a time when you did something your way instead of God's way. Just one quick example of something you did that was wrong. Go. We could all make a pretty long list of times when we did things our way instead of God's way. I know I sure can. See, the Bible tells us that all of us have messed up. All of us have sinned. I have, you have, your mom has, your dad has. Everyone you'll ever meet has sinned at one time or another. And that sin causes all kinds of problems. It causes fights and hurt feelings and gets us into trouble. It causes all kinds of bad stuff in our lives. But the worst problem it causes is that sin separates us from God. Because remember, we learned that God is perfect, but we're not perfect because we have sinned. See, when we're holding on to that sin, when we're doing things our way instead of God's way, it keeps us from living in that perfect friendship, perfect relationship with God. God can't stand sin. Sin can't even be in God's presence because He is so holy and perfect. But when we've got sin, then we can't be with God either. We can't be in God's presence. We can't be friends with a perfect God. And that creates big problems for us because there's no way we could ever be good enough to make up for even one of the sins that we've done. Sin is the problem. When you see this world, I want you to say, sin is the problem.